Sometimes it feels like the sun will never rise, like the birds will never sing again. Believe in a power greater than what you are going through. When you don't know what to do, keep breathing.
That's right. When you don't know what to do, just keep on breathing. From the City of Angels in Los Angeles and the Big Apple in New York City on Fire Island, welcome to all my listeners out there in Radio Land. I'm Dave, the Caregiver's Caregiver at caregiverdave.com, along with my lovely co-host Adrian Gruberg at thecaregiverspace.org. And we're also coming to you live and on demand 24/7 on numerous syndicated radio and podcast networks on 26 global audio and video platforms, including iHeartRadio and iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Vimeo, Stitcher Radio, Blog Talk Radio, and a whole bunch more. And in fact, we're proud to be voted #1 caregiver podcast on the top 50 on Player FM and #2 podcast on FeedSpot out of the top 60. And again, #2 caregiver podcast on caringvillage.com. And we have an especially exciting show planned for you today, don't we, Adrian?
Yes, we do.
Andre Henry wrote a book, best-selling author, I think, From Orphan to Self-Millionaire, The 10 Irrefutable Laws of Purpose. But before we get started, I want to thank my last week's guest, Diana Grippo, from living on the streets to working at Apple. Very similar story. Just a reminder, you can watch or listen to that interview and all our interviews on our membership website, caregiverdave.com, or any of the other 26 global networks I mentioned before. Hers was a little harder because she was bipolar, and so she had a bigger disability to overcome. But I don't know. We'll hear about Andre's disability.
Right.
So Andre, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Caregivers Show. So happy to have you on.
Hello, Dave. Hello. I'm happy to be on. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate y'all taking out your time to let me on the show.
No problem. We met in New York at the National Publicity Summit, yes?
Yes, correct.
Oh, good. I don't know if you had a chance to meet Adrian. She was in and out.
No, I didn't meet Adrian. Adrian, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, no problem.
So we always like to ask our guests the first question, just who is Andre Henry and why was he placed on this earth?
Andre Henry is a brother, a father, a cousin. I mean, I'm a family member. I'm a friend. If you want to go by my trade, I'm an accountant. Trade stocks. I'm an investor. The CEO of DreamAgain.
Crypto also?
No, I'm not a fan of crypto. I think it's gonna crash. I think it's it might
turn you into a crypto believer. Oh.
Well, that's what he says. I'm with you.
Yeah,
You know what they say, you only own as much crypto as you deserve to own.
I feel like if I was an early investor in 2008, I feel like I'd be, pushing it, but I was in high school at the time, so I can't really press it.
I guess if it
Right
goes
there,
to a
early
million,
investor.
it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
All right, back to Orphan to Self-Made Millionaire. Why were you placed on this earth?
I was placed on this earth just to be a servant, just to help individuals that come from humble beginnings, tough beginnings. I feel like how I came up, I was diagnosed with autism, 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I lost my mother and my father at the age of 8. And I just grew into an individual over time that, I felt like I got the most out of life when I gave back to those, from those circumstances or just needed help in their journey.
I'm assuming it's a high functioning autism, something like Asperger's and stuff, because you're very intelligent.
I over time, I found my tweaks and I got a control over them. And I have
a grandson who is high functioning. He was off to a rough start. He's in prison right now because he accidentally killed somebody while he was driving in a car which he was drunk in. But I write to him a lot, and I'm so impressed. He's growing so much in school. He's already got his GED. He's working on college credits. He's doing a whole bunch of things. Wants to be a graphic design artist, and I'm very, very impressed with his progress. And you know what? That's where he needs to be. Just focused and away from all the distractions. And when he gets out, I hope he really continues his good work.
Yeah, isolation could definitely be a good thing for that. You know, I started in remedial classes, and I got out of them by like ninth grade. I just, you know, was always in the front or sat in the back, like by myself, and I just tried to like focus and get your thoughts together. I feel like, you know, you just gotta find something that you like with the traits, and then just build on it. Math was like my foundation. I found it easy, you know, to count, multiply, you know, percentages. And it actually got me into a better situation education-wise growing up.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good
You
for
have
you.
a facility with numbers?
Yeah, I'm very good with numbers. I love numbers a lot. They're my pathway through life, honestly. I feel like without numbers, I couldn't tell you what I'd be doing at this point.
So tell me about your faith. It took a lot of will and determination and faith to go from orphan to self-made millionaire. Do you have a faith? Did you inherit any faith from your parents?
I mean, my mother was Christian. My father was Muslim. So I never really identified with one. I just got like the bigger understanding of them over time. I'm real big on history. I'm like a history. Like I know, like I read about everything. So like history's been like one of my biggest aspect of just understanding like my position in life and how to go forward.
Oh, yeah. When did
Would you
things
say
really?
you're-
Go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead.
I just want to know if you would consider yourself spiritual.
Oh yeah, I'm
Even-
definitely spiritual. I feel like us, you know, as a higher, you know, a divine power that, you know, drives me forward and brings the things that I need to be able to be successful and go forward. I definitely believe it's a sign higher than myself. I'm not egotistical or not. I'm definitely I'm purpose driven. If you want to identify, I'm definitely purpose driven, and I'm a spiritual individual.
Yeah, good for you. So when did you feel that things changed for you and you started feeling positive and started going in a good direction and preparing for your self-made millionaire?
I feel like
How old were
you know,
you?
just over time, you know, like after losing my parents, I don't think I got like a numb feeling. It wasn't like I was like sad or anything. I just became real numb to a lot of things, and I just wanted to understand, you know, life as it was. And you know, over time, you know, just, you know, a foundation of my education just being math, you know, and just learning as I grew older, I started to identify things, you know, to build up my company and be able to help individuals. So I feel like, you know, once I accepted the fact that, you know, all these things happen for a reason, you know, people, you know, everybody have their final days, or, you know, identify the things that, you know, I'm here for, then things started to change. It was like a mindset shift, if I should say.
That's really good.
After your parents died, what kept you going? And like, who raised you?
Okay, so you know, after my mother passed away, she got in a car accident. My father just disappeared. My grandmother took us in, but we was like, she didn't have the capacity because I come from a big family, so I got 4 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the youngest brother, and I got a little sister. So, you know, my grandmother, she did her best, you know, when they came and said we ain't have enough space. Some of us went in, some of us went out. You know, most of the time I was with her for the most part. So, you know, the thing that drive me and like just keep me motivated, you know, I was the younger brother, and I went from Section 8 in Chester, PA, and then I moved to a predominantly white neighborhood in Drexel Hill. So I got the opportunity to catch up education-wise because I knew it was a gap difference, you know, just moving to that new environment. So, you know, over time, I caught up. The thing that motivates me the most is just my family. You know, I'm the one that broke the cycle. I'm the one that went to college, you know, graduated. My little sister went to college. So I just see like that impact that it just has on my brothers and sisters. Also see, you know, like you get all emotions when you know, successful, you know, dealing with those individuals, but, you know, somebody has to be that one, you know. So that's pretty much my driver, you know. I want to set up a new foundation for my family.
How many? Go ahead.
Good. I just wanted to ask you, when you were in grade school and early on, autism was not thought of the way it is now. How did all of that affect you? How did the changing perception of autism change you?
Oh, so definitely, you know, like you said, it wasn't like brought up or it wasn't identified, you know, at that age. You know, they gave me Ritalin and stuff like in grade school, and it, you know, that was pretty much placebo. It was like as I learned over time, and it was hurting me. Like when I think back, like how I felt just taking that medicine, it felt like I was stuck, and if like my stomach was eating my back. Like it was a bad feeling just taking that medicine. And then I had to take it every day because they pretty much prescribed it. And then you know, I didn't really know I had autism or like the traits until, you know, I kept going to like therapy sessions, you know, so they could see my development because I was in those special need classes. And then they, you know, I had habits, and they started to like identify those traits. And then they told me like, you know, you carry like the traits and stuff like that. We think you had it because like how I was moving when I was younger. Like I was quiet, I was rocking back and forth, like had weird movements. So like over time, I just found out that I had it, but I wasn't aware at the time. I'm just taking the Ritalin and stuff like that. You know, like mentally, you know, it made me stronger because, you know, I overcame it either way, and I, you know, became who I wanted to be in life.
What's this thing called DreamAgain that you talk about?
DreamAgain, I started my own company. It's based on Martin Luther King's vision. I turned it into a company. So pretty much, you know, I offer financial literacy to devalued communities. That's like one of the main key components. I'm an accountant, so I do all the individuals' taxes. I have over 170 clients.
Wow.
My financial literacy chat room started with 30 individuals this year, grew over to 1,300 in 1 year. I closed over, you know, 10 partnerships, ADP, NASDAQ. Started my DreamAgain credit line, DreamAgain education fund. I got a 529 plan that gives family $15 on a sign up. I have a DreamAgain HSA account where you can invest, you know, education and health wise, 100% tax free. So I just provide those instruments, financial instruments to the devalued communities. I teach them about like Roth IRA, self-directed IRA, and all the different, you know, financial tools that they can use to, you know, live abundantly.
I mean, there are an awful lot of caregivers who are in need of good financial advice. I mean, where would you tell them to concentrate their, I'm not asking for the stock market advice, but I mean education or you know, help for themselves, or I mean, what they should be doing?
So just being a caregiver, I feel like they all should, you know, have things that's health associated. So I would like, just like financial wise, I feel like they should all have, you know, a Roth IRA. You only can put $6,000 in there a year. You should have like an HSA. You can put $3,000 in there for like if you're an individual, $7,200 if you have a family. And then you just invest in those things that, you know, because you know, being a caregiver, you're putting your life at risk because you're taking care of those in needs with different, you know, whatever people got everything going, medical problems. So, you know, just, you know, protect yourself, and, you know, you can create like those financial instruments to, you know, develop wealth over the long term. You can invest in like different ETFs, like DRIV is a good one where you can, it's like the EV ETF. Everybody's seen Tesla hit 1 trillion in asset. The whole EV sector is probably going to follow. So, you know, you can just invest in like safe funds or like monthly paying dividends, like CRM, CLM. And then you just let your money just work for you. You know, you don't have to be like a aggressive investor. You can do conservative growth because, you know, like the value of money from, you know, 1915 to current day, the dollar lost 97% of its value. And then like if you invested in the stock market, the stock market up, like 13 million%. So that's where the wealth's transferring from. that and real estate and businesses as well.
Well, and don't forget, an ETF just came out for Bitcoin a couple of days ago.
He's headless.
I hope I'm not going to have to tell you in 4, 5, 6 years that I told you so. So
it's a possibility. You're right. You know, I'm seeing Bitcoin ATMs and everything around the neighborhood. So, you know, and then out of all the crypto, you know, that market cap is like 2 times than the next one, and then the rest not even near. So
sure.
Bitcoin probably plays a factor if it survives. You know, it might be a big.
A lot
drop.
of institutions. A lot of institutions are investing heavily in it. And what about gold and silver?
Gold and silver. I mean, silver productivity. I feel like gold, the gold standard. I mean, if you in China is good, but like here, they stopped back in 1971. So I mean, it has some useful life. I mean, you'll put like 5-10% equity in it, but you better off investing in silver here because all the production that they got going on.
Yeah. Any good hedges against inflation? I'm sure you expect inflation to increase.
Yeah, inflation definitely going to increase. The best hedge against it, I'm not going to say Bitcoin.
Don't worry, that wasn't a loaded question. I assume buying your house is a good hedge.
Yeah, buying your house, you know, just looking to corporate,
instead of renting.
Corporate bonds. Yeah, don't rent. It's you know, housing is up crazy right now, and it's a seller's market. So like you could just funnel a lot of equity in your home. You know, just use like the first home buyer, or just do a conventional loan. You get $250K if you single, $500K if you married, tax exempt. So you can funnel that in your house versus renting and, you know, putting it in somebody else's pocket.
Some people say that the stock market and real estate market are a bubble and is going to pop and crash. Is that true?
No, when you look at the long term of things, like if you bullish and you long term, there's no such thing as a crash. You know, you're gonna have your small setbacks, but overall, if you look at the trend from the beginning of time to now, it never really crashed. It was just hiccups in time.
Well, in 1930s, it was a 10-year hiccup, right?
Yeah. See, that was depression. That's like the first, but that's when they was figuring things out and how they was going to leverage debt to, you know, control society. That was before time. That was before, you know, they got it figured out. They got plans.
Oh, yeah, they got it figured out. So the central bank is not going to do a reset?
I mean, I could see.
I just don't know how everyone's going to pay off all their debts, including our governments all around the world. How's that going to work out? I'm just curious.
They're going to go into a cashless society. Your Bitcoin might come into play. They might put interest rates at double. Let me get. I know what you're trying to get me to say.
All right. Well, what are some? Do you have any caregivers in your family? I mean, is caregiving something that you've had?
Oh yeah, my grandma's a caregiver. My aunt, they pretty much go help elderly. Like my grandma's still in retire. She's like 98, still doing it. And she loves helping people. Like, just seeing her work, like she's a very strong individual. Like she doesn't give up. Like she could have been retired, but she just loves helping people. She don't like sitting around, rather use her time to, help others. And I feel like, just seeing that growing up, that played a key role on my character.
This is the grandma that raised you, huh?
It's my dad, mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, I've been with both of them, so pretty much it.
Wow, you have a lot of experience, and you had a good upbringing despite your disabilities and your misgivings and all of that. Speak about what is that, fiance? You have a fiance?
Yeah, I see her. She's a U.S. track runner. She runs the 800, 1500.
Wow.
She's been running since it was like 6 years professionally. She likes the intense training. She's motivated. She goes 100%. She works out all the time. I can't keep up with her, and I used to run track. So she came up with the concepts for the book. She came up with the 10 Irrefutable laws, pretty much using like love, rebirth, reinventing yourself, just, you know, the necessary steps that help you. You know, it was more of like a narrative therapy point of view for me, because she got me to pretty much expose everything that I keep in, because I was like a brick wall, like in terms of like my story. So it pretty much helped me get through, you know, the things I needed to get through to, you know, to grow as a person.
Sounds like she's good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there a date yet? And a ring?
Yeah. We was planning in April.
Good for you.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
So budgets are important for caregivers, aren't they? Nobody likes a budget. Is there such a thing as a budget that is, you know, not so distasteful that people avoid them?
I mean, you know, just dealing with your budget. I think all individuals should just identify all their expenses first. Just see where all your money going.
Yeah,
And
a
then,
lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I feel like, you know, like when I first started out, like I just looked at all my expenses on a monthly basis, just see where I put my money. And then I noticed like my needs, my wants. And then I just, you know, focused it on like putting my investments in a certain pot, my wants and needs. And then I, you know, just look at all your expenses and just see and just cut things out that you don't want and use that money to invest or put it somewhere where it work for you, you know, let your money work for you. And, you know, I think everybody should just identify their expenses as caregivers or just any individual. Once you identify all your expenses, then you'll be able to figure out, you know, where you can save money and where you can, you know, invest and spend it where it's needed.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. I hate when that happens.
I know when I worked with people setting up their budgets, I made sure that they budgeted in things for themselves, like a movie now and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hairdresser now and then, you know, so that they didn't feel deprived.
Yeah.
It was always very important to include a little bit of self-care in there and entertainment, and not just the absolute vitals. You also had a budget in. And
Yeah, I definitely agree. You got budget and fun. Like I always take like a trip a month. Like I travel somewhere and then I just set like $500 to the side, you know, just to enjoy that. Because if you just invest in earning, it's definitely going, like you said, it's going to be depriving. You're going to find yourself in the depressed stage. You know, you gotta alleviate that by, you know, just having, like you said, that fun, travel, just find, you know, those hobbies you like to do and just, you know, set that aside to, you know, invest in those as well.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I remember what I was going to say. Do you recommend people not using cash, because cash seems to disappear, you know, and you can't keep track of it? Do you recommend that people watch their budget, watch what they spend every day through a debit card or something like that? That way it's all recorded. And sometimes they'll look and say, oh my God, did I spend that much this month? Whereas if you have cash, it's kind of not recordable, is it?
Yeah, I feel like cash is, I mean, Bank of America, we try and go into cashless society. So I feel like cash is only good for kids. I feel like if I gave my son 500 and told him, no, this is your cash for the month, it'll work for him. As an adult, I feel like you should be a little bit more responsible. What you can do is just set the cash in your account and then use a credit card and set that limit to that necessary spend. So like, say if you got $1,000 budget, you know, make your credit limit $1,000, have that $1,000 in cash in your bank account, and then you'll just use all those, you'll see all your transactions on your credit card statement, and then you capped off at 1,000. Because if you got more than, you know, 1,000 in your like in your regular bank account, you'll go over that budget every time, because you're just going to be like, well, if I got it. Versus when you got a credit card with a limit on it, it's like, you know, you won't go past it because you set that limit on yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Do you recommend them figuring out what it would be, the daily nut, so to speak? Put away those monthly things, but the everyday, the groceries, etc. Okay, well, I've got like $50 a day I can spend, so I don't run out. And if I don't spend today's 50, that means I have tomorrow 100. I mean, what kind of clever little way can you make a budget fun?
How can you make a budget fun? I like she said, I would just like reward myself. I would just put, if I save $50 from groceries today, I would put $20 in my fun pot. And then I just take the rest, or I'll take half of it, put it in my fun pot, and put the other half in my needs for the next day. Now you got extra $25. You can use that on another event. Like you could go to Top Golf, or you can go bowling, or you can do something with your spouse. Just take that extra spend and just associate it with something that you enjoy.
Yeah, good idea. Anything that you would like to share with caregivers that we haven't discussed yet?
Caregivers, if you would like to listen to any like my financial advice or tax advice, I got a podcast called The Dap. If you want to look into the Dap, like it's the DreamAgain podcast, but like The Dap, it's pretty much like a hand gesture. You dap somebody up, so it's called The Dap. You can find all the information at DreamAgain, thelegacy.com. You can see like the financial freedom tab. You can see all the partnerships. You can see the book. You can get all that information there. If you need any like advice or anything like that financial, you can reach out to me. DreamAgain_thelegacy on Instagram, or DreamAgain_TL on Twitter. I'm pretty much I'm Andre Henry. I appreciate y'all having me today.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on. A reminder, all our live shows become recorded pod and video casts on all our platforms mentioned before, like YouTube, Block Talk Radio, Podbean, and many others. Also, my membership website, caregiverdave.com, free membership support. It's a community with lots of free gifts and resources at caregiverdave.com. Please click the like button if you're listening to this on YouTube or any other platform that has that stuff at the bottom. It helps the algorithms share this to many others. And to all my listeners, thank you again for tuning in each and every week. I'm at caregiverdave.com. Adrian is at thecaregiverspace.org. And she has a great caregiver community, much larger than mine, 160,000 and some change. And we'll see you next time, same channel. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Dave Nassani, the Caregiver's Caregiver, has just released his 6th book entitled It's My Life Too, Thrive to Stay Alive as a Caregiver. It was specifically written for caregivers who know they should be putting their needs first, but just don't know how. Dave is the sole caregiver to his wife, Charlene, since 1996. He knows firsthand what caregivers are going through because he is one. He now speaks all across the country, offering caregivers his amazing caregiver support package. Even the airlines tell us that in the event of an emergency, to put your oxygen mask on first before you help your child with their mask. They know that those who don't heed their advice often black out, thus becoming unable to help either themselves or their child. And caregivers are exactly the same way. It's My Life Too, Thrive and Stay Alive as a Caregiver will help caregivers who are neglecting their sleep, diet, and social life and learn to put their needs first. Pick up your copy today or buy one for your special caregiver, on sale everywhere and at caregiverdave.com.
Sometimes it feels like the sun will never rise, like the birds will never sing.